Well, hello and welcome back to episode 39. Hard to believe it's 39 episodes. As my wife and I are getting up there in age, I was searching on whether my wife is eligible for my Social Security benefits if I were to pass, since I wasn't aware of this. So when I discovered that she could collect my Social Security income, now I have a new problem. Now I have to look over my shoulder all the time since my dear wife has to be saying to herself, I can get this money every month without this son of a bitch around. So this is going to be a bit tense for me because she may just do this, and I would like to live a bit longer and keep harassing and disagreeing with her all the time. It's what couples do at our age. If there's one lesson you learn in life, you can't trust anyone, not even yourself. I'll skip over this next one. My wife has to kick my ass sometimes because I need to get it kicked every now and then. I fuck up, I'm more forgetful now, or I should say that memory is a choice. I remember what I want to remember, and the minor stuff gets forgotten. And of course, it's what I consider to be insignificant, while in reality, it may be more significant than what I perceive. We've been together for 38 years now, and communication can break down, and she has a tendency to blame things on me and tends to negate whatever I'm discussing. But she's just freaking tired of me, and I understand it. But she pretty much does blame me for just about everything. She once blamed me for the French Revolution, and I'm not even French. Every time I'm out and about and I'm in a store, I can't help being astonished at the amount of items that exist. And that as of right now when I wrote this, I'm in one store in one city, and I failed in attempting to find an estimate of how many stores there are worldwide, which is of no surprise. Well, to keep this somewhat short and relatable, I was in a Christmas tree shop at the time with my wife, as I would never go there otherwise. So I walk around with her in a haze, of course, and they're certainly not one of my favorite stores, but I'm always amazed at the amount of crap in this store. And I do realize that it does provide a lot of stuff at very reasonable prices for people who are bargain shopping. Though I have to admit, there have been a few items that we purchased there that, well, didn't last very long. And one item, a small plastic greenhouse for plants, lasted for one season as the plastic corners started to break. Okay, so let me get to the point, and I've mentioned this before. Humanity needs to stop buying cheap, useless stuff and limit your spending on garbage like this, which will reduce the false notion that manufacturers need to keep producing more garbage and crap that serves almost no purpose, since this planet is not going to continue to be able to ingest all of this crap at the dumps, scrap yards, and junkyards. And maybe limiting the imports from China would help. And finally, maybe even do away with some of our minor holidays where spending increases under the pressure to keep up the Joneses. As I've said this before, either we're reel this madness in or it's going to take us down. All right, I'm going to play movie critic here for a change. As my son reminded me about the movie St. Vincent, starring the one and only Bill Murray as Vince, who, by the way, is a god, and also starring Melissa McCarthy as Maggie. Vince lives by the code that his derelict lifestyle is a revolt, getting sucked into going to work, getting married, raising a family, and mortgaging your life away. Except, of course, for the part where he gets so drunk that he almost kills himself. I enjoyed the segment where he's drunk and stoned and he's dancing by himself to the song Somebody to Love by Jefferson Airplane. That was very relatable to me. Vincent is a decorated Vietnam vet who is a gruff, boozing, and stoned, cranky loner who ends up taking care of Oliver, Melissa McCarthy's young son. The relationship with his new neighbor naturally gets off to a bad start, but with both Vince and Maggie living with despondency and tough economic situations in Sheepshead Bay in Brooklyn, Vince works out a deal with Maggie to take care of her son Oliver, which becomes Vince's only income as he is broke. Vince ends up taking Oliver under his wing and teaches him about surviving as the new kid on the block in a rough neighborhood. Vince gives out his very own advice to Oliver. I'm teaching you how the world works. You work, you get paid, and you drink. The movie is earthy, gritty, comical, and yet warmly emotional and entertaining. And it ends on a high note with each student in Oliver's class tasked to dedicate a sainthood to someone, and Oliver delivers his with a glorious tribute to Vince by recalling the medals he was awarded in Vietnam for his bravery and dedication, along with the care that he provides him with dire circumstances. I give it 5 stars. The screenplay, banter, characters, and choice of actors was superb, especially with Bill Murray and Melissa McCarthy. They could not have found better actors for these roles. It's a must-see. I have an important message for people that are driving at night, and I'm going to guess that most of the cars that I speak of are newer cars since they have more complex instrumentation. Many of you are driving with your high beams on at night and don't know it, and I admit that it's relatively easy for this oversight since many of the newer models are not always easy to decipher in the headlight options. If you're not sure, read your car manual because I see this more and more, and these high beams are blinding for oncoming traffic. I know there's no comedy to this. It's just, anyways, and your high beams are on the headlight switch on the turn signal lever. In most cars from the last 15 years or so, to turn them on, you push the lever forward, and if you want to just flash them, then pull the lever forward toward you and release. I hope this helps because keeping your high beams on at night can be dangerous to oncoming cars. Thank you and good night. We'll see you soon.